Welcome back to the Comic Zone. Special episode tonight. We're doing a bit of a spotlight episode once again. As you might remember from previous episodes, we did a two-parter on Nick Johnson. And tonight I want to talk about another Alberta artist, Jeff Martin from Edmonton, Alberta. We've got not everything he's done, but we've got a nice little smattering. Some of these things you might recognize from previous episodes, stuff I've picked up at previous shows like the AGA Market, Edmonton Comic Expo. These were also Edmonton Comic Expo, but a brand new one here as well that Jeff just ran a Kickstarter for called La Cosa Glasnostra, which is a sort of a introductory side story to a new series that Jeff Martin is working on called Rent-A-Thug. So yes, I'm very excited to show you this tonight, and we'll also look at the chapters 1 and 2 teaser that he put out for the Rent-A-Thug series. Now, we'll get into it a little bit later, and we'll talk about this again, but Jeff had some technical woes that have sort of threatened the Rent-A-Thug project a bit. But he's getting back on track with it, and I'm going to be looking for everyone's help. If they like what they see, we need to put the fire under Jeff to keep going with that one and give him some motivation. So let's take a look at everything here. So as usual, over to my side here, if you like what you're seeing from Jeff here, please give him a follow on Instagram. Let him know that you like what you're seeing. He's a hell of an artist, a really nice guy. He and his partner are both really nice people. I've enjoyed being able to hang out with them a little bit in Edmonton when I'm up there doing comic shows. So we're going to go through the other pieces we have here of Jeff's sort of back catalog rather quickly, because we've covered these in previous episodes of the Comic Zone. First one we'll talk about is the Show Me History from the it's the Show Me History series and Witness to History about Anna Frank, or Anne Frank as a lot of people call her. This was a one shot that Jeff worked on that tells the story of Anne Frank and them hiding from the Nazis in upstairs of a factory warehouse in Amsterdam, and really cool piece. What I like about this is, a lot of the stuff that we talk about with Genki Comics that Gordon and I do is this sort of thing, like taking historical things and elevating them. It's nice to see that happening. And to make this, we a lot of people that work in this sort of visual medium like this, we talk about how this medium, this visual comics and cartoonists and what they're doing with graphic novels and comics is the most powerful way to share ideas and stories. So I love this just because it makes it a really wonderful, palatable way for especially young people to get a hold of this and to see it, and gives them lots of information about, where they could learn more and really, makes the history come around. So yeah, ones like Funny Buddy says in the chat right now, mouse and ones like that. Really effective way to do that. So anybody who's watching this on YouTube, I will mention again, like we always do, my name's Charles, by the way, if you've just come in to see this as your first episode. This happens live on Twitch, so I've got a live chat happening and then goes up on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, you could always join in on Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, I thank you very much. And you can catch up on these episodes on YouTube. So yeah, Anne Frank, the show Witness to History, is a really great book, and beautifully produced as well. Like I love having this one on my shelf. I'm going to probably read it through another time before I may end up putting this one in a little free library in my neighborhood here, so that some of the young people in the neighborhood can experience this as well. Because I think it's a good resource to things like this. They're very good to get that out there. This series is really cool. This is Jeff Martin's War of 1812 series called Redcoats-ish, 1 and 2. Jeff has been very inspiring to me because, like I said earlier, Gordon and I doing historical topics for Genki Comics. When I see what the way Jeff takes this and he does a fictional retelling of the events of the War of 1812 with these kind of two kind of goofball characters from the Redcoats, I think is a cool way that you can take historical subjects and then have some fun with it, and retell it in your own way. And I think that's really effective. And I've always been a big fan of Jeff's black and white art quite a bit. I've really enjoyed the way that he renders scenes. And his black and white work is always my favorite, just because he has a very strong grasp on, where to put texture, where to keep it white space, and where to put heavy blacks and your bright highlights. Ones like this where you've got knows how to ground a scene with heavy black, knows how to put the effectiveness of a silhouette when you have a lot of things to read. Yeah, Jeff's grasp on this is very strong. And I love all the things that we create with Genki tend to be this similar format too. So I like to see others work in this sort of, kind of almost panoramic, horizontal way. Yeah, and Jeff's stuff is like, look at this page here. That is a hell of a page. Depicting a battle between indigenous folks and the soldiers, and him almost being taken out. Yeah, it's quite the thing. Beautiful stuff. I love those. Like I said, we'll go through these rather quickly. Let's talk about Where is Zog? Another beautiful, wide one. And here we see some of Jeff's color work. And while I say that his black and white work is my favorite, his color work is nothing to be discounted at all. It is gorgeous. It's lush. He's got a good eye for colors that really grab you, and he knows how to also scale them back a bit and have everything take its place. Beautiful stuff. This Where is Zog is a heck of a story. It's our little alien folks. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, so that is Where is Zog? Beautiful piece. I was happy to be able to pick up one of the last copies that Jeff had, and it's his stuff is really great because he's always got like this very almost pulpy style, and it's always he knows when to put like something really quite bombastic in, like a guy getting just chewed up, and when to really turn it up. And look at that. Scenes like this, when I see this kind of stuff, that's when I'm blown away most with the way Jeff does stuff. Look at that splash. That's really nice. Yeah, Jeff is something else. Of course, Jeff was one of the artists on this comic here, Gwar, the Enormogantic Fail. So we've got some of Jeff's artwork in here as well. I'm a big fan of Gwar. I love Gwar. I'm a big fan of Jeff. So the two of them being together, it's wild. So Jeff is only one of about a half dozen artists in this one here. And you'll see as you go through this book, the artists change throughout as it kind of goes into different scenes. And so you get this, it's almost like an anthology all in a single story, which is a really cool way to do things. It's a cool comic. But this is what we're here to see tonight. La Cosa Glasnostra. This is a Rent-A-Thug story. Let's read the back here. So, La Cosa Glasnostra. Crime meets the gig economy with Rent-A-Thug, the premier app for hiring henchmen. In La Cosa Glasnostra, arms dealers Rostovich and Red Ilsa have an easy deal set up to buy military weaponry misappropriated by a would-be plutocrat in the former bloc. Using the Rent-A-Thug app to replace one of their regular goons seems like a convenient solution until things go catastrophically awry in this tale of post-Soviet noir, deranged lovers, and splatterpunk violence. And let me tell you, Jeff knows how to do splatterpunk violence. His stuff is, like I said, he knows when to like really crank things up to a crazy degree. So we won't really read through this all the way through, but I welcome you to go to rentathugcomics.com or follow Jeff and you'll find all the links for that. But yeah, this is a story of, like it says, he does this cool thing, and we've seen it in some comics before. So my friend Ryan Howe was an artist on a series called Henchmen that tackled sort of similar ideas of the gig economy and labor issues coming with the way henchmen are put together for heists, and in that case it was supervillains, where this one here it's crime, it's gritty crime. This particular story is, as it says, is in this post-Soviet situation where they're trying to do a heist on a bunch of guns. And there's a lot of stories in this one of it's these two lovers, that's Rostovich and Red Ilsa, and them running this heist. And there's a lot of crossing and double crossing. And once again, like I said, the color work of Jeff Martin is nothing to sneeze at. I love the way he's really framed everything this heavy black. It makes everything stand out a whole lot. He knows when to keep it dark. He knows when to keep it more primary colors so that it stands out. So as we follow here, with them using the Rent-A-Thug app to get a gig economy henchman for their crime they're about to commit. And we meet, there's a Soviet general who's been looking to facilitate this weapons changeover. And then there's some double crossing that goes on. Like I said, there's crossing, there is double crossing, and I won't spoil it, but in the end, we still have our our lovers, Rostovich and Red Ilsa, are both still doing their thing. It's a hell of a piece. Now, what I also want to show you that we'll kind of delve even a little more into is the chapter 1 and 2 preview for Rent-A-Thug. The reason I really want to focus on this is that so what has happened was Jeff Martin, when he was sending this file to print for La Cosa Glasnostra, found that a hard drive failed that kind of contained all of this stuff. He had to redo a lot of things to get this out the door, to get this off the print. Sort of a gargantuan effort right at the at the 11th hour. And with Rent-A-Thug, chapters 1 and 2, as you see here, he's lost a lot of stuff with that too. And so one of the messages he had on his Kickstarter was, if you're into what you're seeing in Rent-A-Thug here, by all means, please follow Jeff. Let him know you like this stuff. We gotta keep him motivated on this, because he's gotta get back onto getting Rent-A-Thug going. And this story here, I think, this is I love this one quite a bit. So I really want to show this one off. So Rent-A-Thug, chapters 1 and 2 preview. We're going to go through this here. This tells the story of Edgar Jones, who is a goon. What I love about this one is this goes even more into the idea of the Rent-A-Thug idea that he has of this. Basically, it's an app, a gig economy app for getting henchmen for your getting thugs, getting goons for your upcoming crimes. This goes a little more into what I was talking about with, a similarity to the series Henchmen, where we're talking more about the superhero sort of sides and supervillains. It's more in that vein. And as you see here, he starts showing this is where I really like it when he's showing the sort of what the app would show when you're looking to hire one of these people. Edgar Jones is rated 3 stars, and you can see a couple of previous reviews from him. A 5-star review: showed up and did the job, everything I could ask for. And then the next time, showed up and did the job, didn't go above and beyond, got a 1 star. Bloody Maria, that somebody loved that she did so much killing. That much blood really sends a message. 4.5 stars. Or a 2-star one: job done, but the collateral damage was excessive. Yeah, so basically you can just rent out henchmen for an upcoming crime that you're looking to commit. And this one here, they're all dressed up as gorillas, which I thought was kind of fun, because they are helping out the sort of supervillain, this monkey with an exposed brain. That's really great, quite great. You got G Fresh and Charlie No Aim. And so basically we have a job happening that starts to go awry pretty darn quickly as soon as the superhero arrives and crashes through the ceiling here. So here's the monkey scientist that they are working for down here with the exposed brain. A super smart monkey in a large mech suit by the name of Monkey Brains. And then he's fighting against Captain Impressive. Once again, like I was saying before, this is where you really get to see Jeff's ability to really render like crazy action scenes. And his color work is really, really great. And yeah, so basically everything goes wrong. These henchmen are trying to steal what they're there to get and get out of there before the superhero sees them. Just do a smash and grab. So everything goes really wrong for these folks when their monkey brains takes off, hits the old ejector button, and takes off into the night. Then these 4 henchmen are all find themselves that they are stuck and they are on their own. And they're trying to count on the weapons that Monkey Brains would give them, but they're a bunch of junk. And so suddenly these henchmen find themselves not just without proper weapons that basically have been burning out, weapons that also will not do anything to the superhero, and they're going to have to contend with the cops as the place is coming down around them. And so this is the fellow that we were following from the beginning. He is trying to find a way out, running, finding that the cops are after them. He's the henchman number 3, as you'll see on his on the monkey suit that he's wearing, and the cops just start unloading on them. and the cops themselves also have a mech that they're coming after them with. So yeah, I'm not going to read it through panel by panel, but I wanted to show this to you guys just to show you the quality, just the qualities that I see in Jeff's stuff. Like it's super fun stuff. It's very dynamic, very like it's got a lot of motion. I find his stuff always has a ton of motion, a ton of um like look at what's happening on this page from this robotic this police mech flying in above him, slamming down in front of him, and he's trying to use that monkey banana gun he's got and throwing it and exploding right into the and taking out the mech. Like there's so much dynamic action happening, and it's so beautifully done. But it's also got that like Jeff's got that like there's a bit of griminess to it, which I love. As the cops then try and smash through him with their car. I love this panel in particular here, the way that he's shown the way he's shown this police car and the way that it's moving. It reminds me almost a little bit of some Robert Crumb stuff, like some like real pulpy comics kind of stuff. Just beautiful. He finds himself cornered by two cops in a back alley. So he's searching behind this dumpster here, and then finds that there's a because there's a way for him to get out in this alley. He finds that there's a small hidden way, has a Rent-A-Thug stamp on a brick. That's a secret entrance for them to escape. Yeah. So it's chapters 1 and 2. This is a nice little teaser of Rent-A-Thug. I think it's great. I think it's a great story already. I think it does some stuff that like I was making that comparison to the series Henchmen, and I think this one, what I like about this one as well, that makes it a little different than that one, is that one told a lot of like a family story, where this is like just like gritty crime problems. This guy is he's on the run for his life all the way through this. Like there's a big sense of danger and like serious harm to come to this guy if those cops come across him. Like it's great stuff. Yeah, so I'm going to read this here. What starts as a simple armed robbery ends with Edgar and his allies stumbling into the truth about Rent-A-Thug itself. It exists to justify the proliferation of superpowered guardians and militarized cops, ensuring that wealth stays where it is and away from filthy pores like Edgar. The supervillain didn't stiff Edgar and the other henchmen. Rent-A-Thug did. Now blacklisted from the Rent-A-Thug app, and with some help from Rent-A-Thug's forced-out co-founder, Edgar gathers an army of furious fellow criminals. No longer will Edgar be the guy who takes orders, doesn't ask questions, and does somebody else's dirt. And nobody else will either. Rent-A-Thug is going to be owned and operated by the thugs themselves, or they'll die trying. So there's a little bit of that socialist. It's like, what would happen if the gig economy hit the criminal element, and then they need to basically do the old like seizing the the means of production. It's an interesting, yeah. It's a cool story. I think what Jeff is telling here is really quite cool. And so if you want to keep up with this stuff, like I said, follow Jeff. You'll find over here, or go to his Patreon, which is patreon.com/heatcomic. And let Jeff know that you like this stuff. I know I'm certainly gonna be giving him my let him know that I love this stuff. I think it's a hell of a comic already. I can tell he's already like he's really thought about that story, and he's doing more than a surface level story about, you know, the idea itself of an app that sets up people to be able to do henchman work for a supervillain is good, but where he's taking it much further. Like I said, where my comparisons with something like Henchman, where it went that I thought was really great was it also had family drama included. A guy trying to just do right by his family and find himself in middle age. And this one here, what it's doing is it goes in that direction of where power lies, the abuse of that power, and how things like the gig economy type idea of this Rent-A-Thug app, what does it do, and what are its motivations about keeping wealth and power consolidated in a small group of people, and then what these criminals do after being stepped on by it. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool idea. I love it. I think La Cosa Glasnostra is awesome. Now, I don't know if this one is available. If La Cosa Glasnostra, I don't know if this will be available on its own. I hope that Jeff will have it available. This was done through a Kickstarter. That's where I got it and got it sent to me to my door. And hopefully you can get your hands on this as well, because I think this is an awesome standalone story. And I don't know if these characters, Restovich and Red Ilsa, will make an appearance in the proper Rent-A-Thug storyline or not. I have to assume that maybe they will. But even if they don't, this is a cool ass comic right here. Yeah. So Jeff Martin. Short episode tonight. Just wanted to do a small spotlight on Jeff Martin, the amazing work that he's done already, and this new piece. You know, what a body of work when you look across it. In what other medium would you find Gwar mixed with historical education-based comic like Anne Frank, Witness to History, as well as, you know, something like Where is Zog, where it's crazy traipsing through space, a take on the War of 1812, another historical comic, and then a post-Soviet double cross crime story. In what other medium will you find this? I can't name one. To find a body of work like this from a single creator like Jeff Martin, who is just the coolest dude. So please, like I said, follow him over here. Like I said, this happens live on Twitch. So if you're watching on Twitch, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here live. It also goes to YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you could be joining in live on Twitch. Join me for the next one. We'll be doing another Comix Zone in a couple of weeks. We're going to take a little bit of a break while we wait for our next the next market I'll be doing, which is November 10th, which is the zine party put on by Shelf Life Books. That's the next time I'll have a big bunch of stuff I'll be trading for. We'll probably get a week or a couple of weeks, or maybe even more, depending how much stuff I trade for and get at that show. But thank you for this, Jeff Martin. Please give him a follow. And if you like that Rent-A-Thug chapter 1 and 2, I know I sure do, let him know he should keep on doing it and needs to finish this one off. I understand how hard it is when a hard drive fails. A major technological hurdle comes along and wipes out some of your work. It's a tough one to get motivated for. So if you like what you're seeing here, let Jeff know. As a creator myself, nothing gives us more motivation than when someone just reaches out and said, "Hey, you know what? I saw your stuff and I dig it." It's a huge motivator for us just to know that our stuff is reaching somebody and that it does something for them. So thanks for watching. We'll get you in the next couple of weeks, but stick around. We're going to do some other stuff. Have a good one.